All right, Mark, let's talk a little bit about last weekend. Obviously, went down to Lake Charles, won 4 out of 5. I know overall you were pretty pleased across the board with your pitching and your offense.
Well, we did the things we needed to do. We were, the offensive numbers jumped because we had a little bit more power in our swing, a little more pop and drive, so that was nice to see. And then we're still executing all our signals and all of our expectations, all of our plays, our shifts on defense. I mean, we have to correct it every now and then, but for the most part, the girls are really getting it down. And so for the third weekend coming up here, to be already way ahead of the curve, in my opinion, I think we're doing well.
Michelle Jones has continued to pitch well, pitched really well down there. I know even in the loss you felt like she pitched much better than maybe the stats indicated. And then Erin Kipp had a couple of nice outings.
Yeah, Michelle's really, anytime she's on the hill, we have a chance to win, and that's against most anybody. And that's great to see a pitcher really emerge as a dominant number one. Erin is, I think, settling into that number 2 role nicely and pitched well in her 2 outings and gained a little more confidence because she had a rough start weekend 1, but she looked better, and I think because she's in the flow of the game more, her hitting's continuing to stay at a high level, and I think that you'll only see her performances get better and better.
Of course, one of the big stories, all the stolen bases, 26 of 26, and you talked, you steal in situations, you just don't steal to steal.
Well, we're going to run. We've got a little bit of team speed, but we're going to be smart when we steal. We just don't line up and steal first pitch, or a lot of times some of those numbers are a bit inflated because they're back doors of double steals, first and third plays, those type things. So it may look a little bit more inflated than what it is, but we are going to run a little bit. That just is the personality of this team, and so we're going to try to maximize that whenever we can.
And then offensively, you mentioned just a minute ago, had a little bit more power this week, not all singles.
Yeah, and that was definitely something we needed to see. We had been hitting well in practice, and we'd been hitting the ball hard in practice. And what we really came back was to try to concentrate on not just making good contact with the ball, but really trying to get drive out of the ball and hitting the bottom of the ball and extending through and making sure that we get just some good connection, because I think we'd hit a lot of C&I ground balls that first weekend, which equated into a lot of singles, but also some double plays because we rolled over balls right to people. And so we really had to work on getting under the ball and getting drive.
Defensively, a pretty good weekend still. I think your fielding percentage is about .975 for the year. You've been pleased with what you've seen on the defensive end?
Yeah, I think so. We're leading the WAC right now defensively, and that's a priority for us. We want to be one of the best defensive teams, and there's still room for improvement. We still made a couple of errors that there's no reason we should have made. We're going to make some on some shots occasionally or some tough plays, but when it's routine, we need to handle it. And the kids are just getting better and better at understanding that and making that routine play, not rushing their throw. The ball was hit, you bobbled it, no big deal. Just pick the ball up, make a nice throw. If they beat it out, they beat it out. And it just takes that calming influence to set in to where they can do that and feel comfortable doing that, as opposed to trying to rush and be too fast. As John Wooden says, be quick, don't hurry.
This week, weather's been here a little bit. Have you been able to get out on the field and do what you want to do so far?
We were able to get out Monday or Tuesday rather, and have a good day. And then yesterday we ended up having a really good day of practice. We limited because they're in finals right now, so we cut it down to an hour and a half. But for an hour and a half, we were really busy and got after it well, and we're able to get a lot of ground balls and fly balls at practice, and that's good since the weather today is a little less than yesterday.
Now this weekend, a little bit up in the air, supposed to go to Southern Miss and play for a couple of days, obviously because of the tornado that came through there, some hotel issues. So as you look towards this weekend with not really sure exactly who you're going to play, where you're going to play, what's your goal for this weekend? Well,
again, it's still about us. It's still just about getting better every day and really doing the things that make Louisiana Tech softball. And so again, the opponents it's indifferent to me. It was excited about seeing some good competition, so I hope that still rings true. And Southern Miss, Northwestern's having a great year. I know they've knocked off Mississippi State as well as a couple other good teams. So, it does not matter who we play. We want to take care of us. But, again, to see us against better competition would be better in terms of our growth for the future.
Are you in weekend 3? When do you start settling into, or have you already really on who you want to start on a daily basis?
I think we're close. There's still we're still given opportunities for other people to perform, and we will. I mean, there's going to be pinch hit opportunities, DH opportunities, and maybe the occasional defensive opportunity, and that's those chances for those players to establish their role and what they're going to do, and whether they're a starter or whether they're just a quality backup or whatever the case may be. But there's still some time for growth. I mean, but we're getting closer to that lineup every day, just because some kids are rising to the top and they're performing day in and day out.
You got a bit of a challenge with trying to get some bats into the lineup. I know you moved Jana Frandrup over to third base last weekend. Did you like what you saw with that?
Well, Jana's still got to go as far as some time in terms of expectations defensively at third. I mean, she's played a lot at first base, so she understands. And certainly I hit a ground ball as hard as I can to her, and she's going to field that. So that's not the issue. It's learning the nuances of playing the position. So she is doing that, and she's doing that well. But we had to have her bat in the lineup. We had to have Aaron Kipps bat in the lineup, and you can't have two DHs. So we're trying to figure out what our best lineup is that keeps our best bats in the lineup and then still balances that out defensively. And, of course, Haley was out with mono, is just now coming back from that. So, she'll begin to step back in and challenge for that position, and that's a good thing, because if nothing else, it'll make us better defensively, even if it's just in the 6th and 7th inning. So we'll see how that continues to go.
And then one weekend, I guess from this weekend, you're going to have an extra challenge when Mel Goff comes back, and then you got to try to figure out how to get her in the lineup as well.
Yeah, but those are great problems to have. I mean, anytime you say, hey, we're going to give you back a 400 hitter, call me crazy, but I'll fight that. That's no worry. So, Mel's continued to work hard in practice, and so we're excited about having her back, and where exactly she's going to fit in and where exactly she's going to be in the lineup, as well as where she's going to be on the field. I don't know that we know that yet, but we're going to continue to work hard to where she's ready to go at a couple of different spots so that we can be the best team we can be.